obesity, as harmless as it looks,
Wow.
as harmless as it looks, because some people will be like, guess what, I'm okay with my body, I'm looking okay, I don't mind when people say I'm okay with my body, but the impact that it's causing to your body is what really actually matters. And they have made pathways along the roads to allow the children to walk to school rather than being taken around by the bus. So our children, as even parents, we need to actually consider that our children are at risk, and even do whatever necessary precaution we need to take. Give them time to go out and play. Give them time to go out and swim.
You have a huge role to play when it comes to your child's health. And in this case, obesity.
In schools, like we have games, let's say football, volleyball. You see, as a parent, you should follow up and make sure your child is in one of the teams. He might not be a good player. Especially the high schoolers, because you see they are in adolescent and they have this thing in them, they don't want to go out and play. So as a parent,
you are watching The Convo with Dr. Frida and James Wetu. Convo, encouraging conversation that matter.
Good evening, my name is James and this is Convo, encouraging conversations that matter. Thank you so much for your time and joining us. And today, because I'm joined in by my friend Sylvia. Sylvia is a nutritionist. She understands more about obesity. Because I don't know so much about obesity, I had to look for someone who can help me, dissect and understand obesity and how we can deal with it. It's so fascinating because 1 out of every 5 Kenyans have obesity, and that is a worrying statistics. And something that and this Sylvia who made me aware is that obesity is more prevalent in women than in men. That's huge. And still the fact that it's more prevalent in the people living in urban areas than in the rural areas. And I know, I don't know whether it's really something that you ever thought about, and the consequences or the impact or how it can hinder you. But I think it's a huge thing, and going by statistics, something to be worried about. And so we thought here at Convo to, bring out this conversation, because it's a conversation that actually we need to encourage because it matters. We said that this year we want to mind about our health, and we need to take care of our health. And so every month we'll be having a section where we talk about health issues. And so this is the first time we had a conversation. We were talking with our friend Chi, who helped us maybe explore the issue of fitness, how you can start a fitness routine so you can be more fit. So today we thought of taking a small tweaking a little bit and discussing obesity, because it's really a huge thing, and we really want people to be fit. And so that's why we want to have this conversation. And I'm so happy because I'm joined by an expert in this, this topic of health and nutrition and all that stuff, who will help us understand obesity and how we can avoid it and how we can, have a healthy lifestyle. So join me in welcoming our friend Sylvia.
It's been awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. What a great day to end the week. By being here on Convo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. We are so happy that you found time to join us here.
Yeah.
Now, obesity. And I don't know, sometimes, what is obesity? Let's first start, let's start with trying to understand what is obesity. How do I know that I have obesity? What is it actually in the first place?
Yeah. So, obesity is actually an excess accumulation of fat in the body tissue.
Okay. Excess.
So obesity is quite different from overweight. Of course, overweight leads to obesity.
Yes.
But obesity is actually clinically measured. So there is a level whereby we use what we call the BMI.
BMI, yes.
Yeah. So when your BMI is above 30, we now say you are obese, meaning you have a high level of excess fat being found in your body.
Wow.
Yes.
So there's a difference between being obese and being overweight.
Yeah, there's a difference between being overweight and obese. So overweight is a risk factor to obesity. Like it's the borderline between normal weight and obesity. But it's still a risk factor. So okay, as nutritionists, we like to intervene at that level because it's much easier. When you're overweight, it's much easier for you to actually be able to go back and come to a normal weight.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, so at what point do I know that I'm overweight?
Okay, yeah, we still use the BMI. We still use the BMI to determine whether you are overweight. But it's so ironic that I think I've practiced for a long time and I can look at you and just tell you, James, you're overweight. But for a common person, it's not very easy for you to know when you're overweight. And now that's the problem, because you will be overweight and not know it, and then by the time you're obese, because now you go to the hospital with maybe this complication, it's when now you're beginning to intervene. Yet you had another opportunity earlier on, but you didn't know that. Yeah, so it's just good to keep track of your weight and see your BMI, monitor it.
Wow. Yeah. And looking at me, do you think I'm overweight?
You're normal, but I think at the borderline. You must be 25. Your BMI should be around 25. So I'm not wrong.
I think we need to go and do some testing.
Yeah.
What you need is testing, actually. You check your weight and height, then you calculate it. It's more than that, then you know you're overweight. Wow.
And amazingly, it's even done in the streets. So like, if you're walking in the streets, there are BMI machines all over. In fact, they are kind of automatic. So you have an opportunity to know your status anytime. You'll be around town or wherever you are.
The machine that keeps calling you.
Yeah, it keeps calling you, but you keep ignoring it. So,
Good. Now, maybe Sylvia, and why do you think, discussing the aspect of obesity, it's important? What's the impact? Why obesity? Why is it a conversation to, or something to be worried about?
Yeah, obesity is actually something that we really need to worry about, because even the World Health Organization, it describes it as the fastest growing pandemic. Like, it's growing so fast. Previously, we used to actually see obesity as something that is maybe for the rich or those that are well off. That is actually in the African context. Most obese people were in suburban areas and the well-developed. But nowadays, you walk in the village, and even the old mamas and whatever people in the village, they are becoming obese. So it is actually growing very fast. And the process is so gradual that we don't realize it. But the impact is so great that it affects, the impact of obesity, it affects so many of us. And in a way that the main major concern, why we talk about obesity, is because obesity is a predisposing factor to many chronic, non-communicable chronic conditions. Which are actually threatening many lives. They are actually depleting resources in families. When we talk about something like cancer, we're talking about something that has really got into the pockets of many families, that has robbed people, loved ones. And you see, obesity is also a risk factor. It doesn't really cause cancer, but it's a risk factor. Something like diabetes. We're talking about something that is affecting millions of people in our country. Hypertension. And all those, even infertility. We are having so many people currently experiencing infertility, both men and women. And they even maybe do not know, but some of it is contributed by obesity. So the impact of obesity, as harmless as it looks, as harmless as it looks, because some people will be like, guess what? I'm okay with my body.
Yes.
I'm looking okay. I don't mind when people say I'm okay with my body. But the impact that it's causing to your body is what really actually matters. And
what it does, it like predisposes you to more illnesses. Like you become prone to diabetes.
Yeah.
You're more prone to hypertension. More prone to even cancer. Arthritis.
Hyperlipidemia. Heart attack. Yes. Pressure. We are talking about so many. Like 90% of the non-communicable chronic conditions. Those that are not like passed from one person to another, the ones that develop in the body, 90% of them, obesity is a contributing factor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's,
that is obesity.
Yeah, it's really overwhelming.
Wow. You know, sometimes if you're not looking at it like that, you might think it's just another. You might ignore it or even don't put necessary measures to even prevent yourself. Whoa, but you got it now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are these things that what are the activities that we do or we don't do that maybe makes us more prone to becoming obese?
Yeah.
And
So
overweight in this case.
there are so many, of course, factors that cause us to become obese. One that people like to say is genetics. People will always be like, guess what? In our family, we are this big. And it's true. Yeah, genetics actually plays a major role in obesity. In a way that families that tend to have big bodies, it continues down the line.
Okay.
Yeah, but so genetics is, I want to say this, like genetics is actually kinda okay, this is what we say.
Yeah.
Genetics loads the gun, but your diet triggers
triggers. Okay.
So one of the major things that is actually causing obesity in the current society is diet, because obesity comes about when we eat more and expend less. So, and whatever we are eating sometimes is not actually the fiber, the starch. We're eating more of carbohydrates and less of the other things. So one of the major things that is causing actually obesity in our current society is diet, and secondly, lack of exercise. Because when you eat food, your body expects that you're going to use that food to produce energy. But when you eat food and maybe stay in your house the whole day, or maybe just drive to work, then you drop back in the house. And then, so you're living what we call a sedentary lifestyle. So like, there's no using the energy that you have accumulated. So the body continues to store that fat. And over and over and over and over, you now become obese.
And so my biology teacher told me when you take carbohydrates, the excess is converted into fat.
Yes, exactly. That's why carbohydrates is a major concern. And you see, like, for example, James, if we were like having a plate of rice and beans right now, guess what will be the huge portion in that plate?
To
be the rice, you see? Or if it's the ugali and the vegetables, it will be the ugali. So, you see, like, our eating habits are more geared towards eating a lot of carbohydrates and less of protein and also less of the other things. So, we are actually prone that eating a lot of carbohydrates, which we do not actually need because we are not physically active. So we end up accumulating more of that and more of that and more of that, and with no time we become obese.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And I'll ask this, and maybe Patrick, you've answered it. Who are more vulnerable to obesity?
Yeah. So currently the statistic actually shows that women are more vulnerable to obesity because, I don't know, women tend to live more of a sedentary lifestyle. See the way we say, boy child, fanya hivi, boy child, beba that. So the guys can try to be physically active by doing a lot of manual stuff, but the women, especially in urban areas, they tend to be so much relaxed. We don't engage in so much physical activity. And also our children are actually becoming a risk. Because if you look at most of the schools right now, they even do not have playgrounds, especially here in the city. Somebody just opens something maybe at a 3-door facility.
Wow.
It's there, maybe a kindergarten or something. But there is no like playground for these children.
Wow.
And our children nowadays are really fond of the nice stuff, the sausage.
Oh, yeah.
And actually they have access to them because they are found all over in the marketplace. Wherever they go, they can find these samosas, whatever. So the kids end up eating those things, and actually they do not get somewhere to expend that. At home, they don't play. They are either watching TV or they are just indoors playing video games. Yeah, so also the children. And now the problem with the children is that obesity in childhood is very hard to control in adulthood. So they are even at a much higher risk. Because the obesity you get in childhood, controlling it in adulthood, the cells in the body kind of get used to that high sugar produced from carbohydrates or that high fat. So by the time they are maybe in their 20s or in their 30s, they are obese, and controlling it is so hard. They're going to the gym, doing everything, but yeah, so our children are vulnerable and highly vulnerable because it will affect them in the future.
Wow. And you know that Sylvia, that is very important, a key for people even to get that sometimes our children, as they grow up, and especially because nowadays urban population is actually increasing, so there's so many children in urban areas where they're not actively involved in physical activities, and then they're going to school, and the school doesn't have enough compound for kids to play. And so what they do is that now they are also accumulating this excess fat in their bodies. And you're saying that as they age, as they grow up, become even harder to control that obese, because they started as they were young, they were growing up, accumulating, become very hard to control.
Sure.
Yes?
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, like if you look at the well-developed countries, I think they just realized that obesity is a disaster. So they are doing everything to do that. Like now for their children, some even they have made pathways along the road. To allow the children to walk to school rather than being taken around by the bus. So our children, as even parents, we need to actually consider that our children are at risk, and even do whatever necessary precaution we need to take. Give them time to go out and play. Give them time to go out and swim. Yeah.
Wow. I think that for me, I find that is very key, especially for us with children. That we need to find ways of allowing our children to be physically active. I think that's very important.
Sure.
And also, maybe you can help us understand, get it. What about us who are older? Other than maybe accumulating, eating a lot of carbs, are there other kind of things we are consuming that are contributing to being obese? Maybe our day-to-day activities, like maybe being in the office all day and not. Are there some other things that are contributing factors to obesity?
Yeah, sure. As you're just saying, most of us who work in the city, we are the kind of drive to work. Even if I'm taking a matatu, I'm still being driven to work. So I'll go to work, stay in the office, maybe get there at around 8, spend the whole day there, then go back home in the evening. I'm tired, I'm everything. I'll just sit there, watch the news, and so on. So that is actually that is something that is very important to you to understand, is that you actually putting your body in a state of inertia. You really, in fact, you're straining your body. Forget like you are making it relax. You're straining your body. And you are leading to something called hormonal imbalance, which is even much, because once hormonal imbalance, of course, contributes to obesity. So there are things that you can be able to do. I normally say nowadays with technology, you can do a lot of things just at the tap of your hand. Because you can be seated in your office. If you just go to YouTube and Google something like office stretches, you even don't need to stand up from your seat. You just need to sit there, and then you can do these stretches, and then it allows blood to flow. It also allows your body to engage in some form of like movement.
Yes.
Which gives it like time to
Yes.
even activate itself.
Yes.
So you can use that. You can also, you're going to work, maybe you're supposed to report at 8.
Yes.
And you arrived at work at around 7:55. Why do you need the lift? I mean, you 5 minutes early to your workplace. Why don't you take the stairs? I know you get there tired, but it's way better than actually just getting into the lift. You've exercised. You know, when it comes to obesity, even, I don't know, 5 minutes movement, they matter a lot. They matter a lot. The small movement you're making, it doesn't seem too much for you, but it really matters a lot. Just walking around for, let's say, 15 minutes. It's way better than the person that has just been sitting there the whole day.
Wow.
So like you have so many, as an adult, you have so many opportunities. And then the best way actually to even do it is find what you love, James.
Okay.
So it's not like a punishment. You say like, I have to hit the gym, I have to hit the gym. The day you realize that you're not even sick, you won't hit the gym. You just need to find something that you love.
You love gym.
I love swimming. So
Yes.
make a habit out of it.
Swimming,
I love, because as we're saying, obesity is gradual. Also the gradual activities that you do, they help in reversing it. You might not swim every day, but that swimming every weekend and swimming it to your best, doing this and this, really helps. Or I love to play soccer. Find some kids in your compound and play with them some soccer. You can do a lot of things to actually help in reversing obesity.
You are watching The Convo with Dr. Frida and James Wetu. Convo, encouraging conversation that matter.